Hello friends! Today we will dive into the amazing world of dreams. Tell me honestly, do you often remember your dreams? Or maybe sometimes you wake up with the feeling that the dream was important, but everything slips away from memory. Write in the comments, which dream has stayed with you the most in your life? Sometimes a single dream can turn our whole perception upside down, leaving a trace for years. Today we will explore why dreams are so important for psychology, how they are connected to the subconscious, what archetypes are and why they appear in our dreams, how to learn to understand symbols, and most importantly, how to use your dreams for self-knowledge and spiritual growth. Why do we even dream? Scientists argued about this for a long time. Some believed that dreams are just the brain's trash, random images. But Jung, Freud, and modern researchers say dreams are the language of the subconscious. A dream is like a letter from your inner self. But it's not written with words, it's written with images, symbols, sometimes very strange ones. For example, if you dream that you are late for a train, it's not always about the train. It may be a symbol of fear of missing a chance in life. And if you dream that you are flying, it's often about a sense of freedom, a desire to break free from limitations. Then, question for you, have you ever had dreams that later came true? Or dreams where you felt, this is a warning? Write in the comments, such stories are always the most interesting. The subconscious and its language. The subconscious is like a huge storage where we put everything, emotions, fears, desires that we cannot express consciously. When we sleep, the conscious mind rests, and then the subconscious comes on stage and starts showing its stories. Here it's important to understand, every dream is not a riddle for a dream dictionary, but a personal message just for you. Yes, there are common symbols, but you always need to look at your own context. For example, snakes. For some they mean fear, for others wisdom and renewal. That's why a universal book of interpretations simply does not exist. Then question for you, which symbols appear most often in your dreams? Snakes, ladders, flights, water, falling. Share in the comments. You will see how the same symbol has completely different meanings for different people. Jung's archetypes and dreams. Carl Jung said that archetypes, ancient images existing in all people, appear in dreams. They come to us from the collective unconscious. For example, the hero, the one who fights, overcomes obstacles. The shadow, our hidden part, what we hide from ourselves and others. The wise old man, a symbol of knowledge and the inner teacher. Anima, animus, the feminine part in a man and the masculine part in a woman. If you dream of a stranger giving you advice, it may be your inner sage. And if you dream of a scary monster chasing you, this is often your own shadow. Then question, have you ever felt in a dream that a certain character was not just a random figure, but a part of you? Write about it. This is a key moment when we realize the dream speaks to us with our own inner voice. Practice how to start understanding your dreams. Friends, the first step is a dream journal. Every morning, right after waking up, write down everything you remember. It doesn't matter, even if it's just one image or one emotion. After a couple of weeks, you will begin to notice that your dreams form patterns, repeating themes. And then you will understand, this is not chaos, this is the language of your subconscious. So today, we talked about why we need dreams, how they are connected with the subconscious and archetypes, and why universal interpretations don't exist. In the next parts, we will look in detail at the main dream symbols, how to understand your shadow through dreams, and lucid dream practices that will help you literally control your dreams. But for now, write in the comments, which dream do you consider the most important in your life? Have you had recurring dreams? Your stories may become the topic of the next video. We already understood that dreams are the language of the subconscious, and that symbols must be interpreted in the context of your life. Today, we will look at the most common images that appear in the dreams of millions of people. And I invite you, while listening, check right away which of these symbols have you personally seen. Then write in the comments what matched with your dreams. Symbol of water. Let's start with one of the strongest symbols, water. Water in a dream often symbolizes emotions and the subconscious. A calm lake, inner world in harmony. A storm or waves, strong emotions, sometimes suppressed. Swimming or diving into water, a desire to cleanse, renew. Question: have you ever seen the sea or a river in a dream? What was it like, calm or stormy? Right, it will be interesting to compare. Symbol of flight. Dreams where we fly are some of the most memorable. Flight is a symbol of freedom, going beyond limits. But there is a nuance. If you fly easily and joyfully, it's a feeling of power, inspiration. If it's hard to rise or you fall, it speaks of doubts, fear of losing control. Question: have you dreamed of flying? What did you feel, joy or fear? Symbol of falling. A very common dream, falling. It is connected to the feeling of losing support in life. If you fall into an abyss, it may reflect anxiety or loss of control. If the fall ends softly, it's a sign that the subconscious says, you will manage, even if you lose the ground under your feet. Right, have you dreamed of falling? Did you wake up with a sharp bodily sensation? Symbol of the house. A house in a dream is a symbol of personality and inner world. The first floor, basic needs, the body. The second floor, thoughts, intellect. The basement, the subconscious, hidden fears. The attic, spiritual quests. Sometimes you dream of new rooms in a house. This means discovering new sides of personality. Question: have you ever found rooms in a dream house that don't exist in reality? Many people say this is one of the most mystical symbols. Symbol of the road. The road is a symbol of the life path. A wide, straight road, clarity and confidence. A narrow path or labyrinth, doubts, searching yourself. A crossroads, choice, an important decision. Question: have you seen crossroads or forks in a dream? What choice did you make? Symbol of animals. Animals in dreams often show our instincts. Snakes may mean danger or, on the contrary, wisdom and transformation. Cats, feminine energy, intuition. Dogs, loyalty, protection, sometimes aggression. Birds, freedom, spirituality. Question: which animal appears most often in your dreams? And what do you think it symbolizes in your life? Symbol of death. Many are frightened by dreams of death, but it is not a prediction. It is a symbol of the end of a stage. Death in a dream most often means transformation, transition, new beginning. If you die, it is a sign that a new personality is being born inside you. If someone else dies, it symbolizes the end of a relationship or the role of that person in your life. Question: have you ever dreamed of death? And how did you feel after waking up? Symbol of pursuit. A very common plot, someone chasing you. This is a symbol of inner fear or a part of yourself that you are hiding. Most often, it's not an enemy, but your shadow. And if in a dream you stop and look into the pursuer's eyes, the dream can completely change. Question: have you ever had a dream of being chased? Did you try to run away, or did you stop and look at who was chasing you? Archetypes in symbols. Each of these symbols is connected to archetypes. Water equals archetype of the mother, the beginning of life. Flight equals archetype of the hero, striving to overcome limits. House equals archetype of the self, wholeness of personality. Animals equals archetype of nature, instincts. Death equals archetype of transformation. Jung said, "When we learn to read these symbols, we come closer to understanding ourselves." We have looked at the most popular dream images and saw that each of them carries a message from the subconscious. And now let's do this. Write in the comments 3 symbols that appear most often in your dreams. And in one of the next videos, I will try to analyze the most interesting stories. We have already talked about the symbols and archetypes that most often appear in our dreams. Now it's time to dive into one of the most important and perhaps the most mystical topics, the shadow. Carl Jung called the shadow that part of our personality that we hide from others and even from ourselves. And it is in dreams that the shadow appears most often. What is the shadow in dreams? The shadow is not always evil or a monster. It can be anything we suppress: aggression, sexuality, envy, even talent that we don't believe in. In a dream, the shadow may appear as a frightening pursuer, a stranger, a dark figure, or a situation where you act not like in real life. Question: have you ever dreamed that you were doing something you would never do in reality? Write in the comments. This is the manifestation of the shadow. Why it's important to meet your shadow. When we run from the pursuer in a dream, we run from ourselves. But if we can stop, look him in the eyes, ask, "Who are you?" the dream can completely change. Many people describe that at this moment, the fear disappears and the figure turns into something neutral or even an ally. Jung said, "To become whole, one must meet one's shadow, and dreams are the best way for this." Question: have you ever tried to stop in a dream and interact with your shadow? Why it's important to meet your shadow. When we run from the pursuer in a dream, we run from ourselves. But if we can stop, look him in the eyes, ask, "Who are you?" the dream can completely change. Many people describe that at this moment, the fear disappears and the figure turns into something neutral or even an ally. Jung said, "To become whole, one must meet one's shadow, and dreams are the best way for this." Question: have you ever tried to stop in a dream and interact with your shadow? Examples of shadow manifestations. You dream that you are shouting or arguing, though in reality you are quiet and calm. You dream that you steal something, though in reality you are honest. You dream that you are strong, brave, confident, though in life you lack this. Notice, the shadow is not only bad. Sometimes it is what we simply don't allow ourselves to express. Right. What unexpected action have you done in a dream? Practice working with the shadow through dreams. Shadow journal. When writing down dreams, highlight characters that are unpleasant or strange. Ask yourself, what in me could this mean? Dialogue in the dream. If you dream of a pursuer, try to ask him in the dream, "What do you want to say?" The answer often surprises. Integration. Try in life to allow yourself a little more of what the shadow symbolizes. For example, if in a dream you are angry, allow yourself to express emotions safely in reality. Lucid dreams. Another practice that helps to work with the subconscious is lucid dreaming. A lucid dream is when you realize you are dreaming and can influence the plot. There are techniques for this. Keep a dream journal. During the day, ask yourself, "Am I dreaming or awake right now?" Look for anchors in the dream. For example, look at your hands or a clock. When you realize you are dreaming, you can not only control the dream, but also communicate with your subconscious directly. Question: would you like to learn to control your dreams? Or maybe you have already had the experience of lucid dreaming. Share in the comments. What you can do in a lucid dream. Meet your shadow. This is one of the most powerful practices, to ask a question and get an answer. Find the inner teacher. Sometimes a wise character appears in a dream. This may be your sage archetype. Healing. Many people use dreams to work through fears to get rid of nightmares. Creativity. Artists, writers, musicians often get inspiration in dreams. Audience experiences. Here we can emphasize. Please write if you have had lucid dreaming experiences. What did you do in that state? Was it scary? Or, on the contrary, joyful? Such comments always gather many likes and discussions. Today, we talked about how our shadow appears in dreams and how, through lucid dreaming, we can work with the subconscious directly. We understood scary dreams are not enemies, but our inner parts waiting for recognition. And now, write in the comments, what have you dreamed that you were afraid to tell others? Would you like to learn to control your dreams? We already learned that dreams are the language of the subconscious, that archetypes and the shadow live in them, and that lucid dreams can become a true tool of self-knowledge. Today, we will do the most important thing, learn to work with dreams step by step, so that you can turn every dream into a key to understanding yourself and personal transformation. Step 1. Remembering. The first step is to learn to remember your dreams. For this, set an intention before sleep. I will remember what I see tonight. Keep a notebook or phone next to the bed. Write down the dream right after waking up, while it's fresh. W question. Have you already tried keeping a dream journal? Did it help you remember more dreams? Step 2. Emotions. The second step, record what you felt in the dream. Sometimes symbols are hard to understand, but the emotion is always honest. Fear, joy, calm, confusion. The emotion will show you the direction. A dream of a road with anxiety, one meaning. A dream of a road with joy, completely different. W question. Which emotion most often appears in your dreams? Step 3. Symbols. The third step, highlight the key symbols. Usually, these are 2-3 images that you remember the most. Ask yourself, what does this symbol mean personally for me? Where have I seen it in my life? What memories does it evoke? Remember, dream dictionaries can be a hint, but the real meaning comes only in your own context. Step 4. Archetypes. The fourth step, check if archetypes appear in the dream. Was it the hero overcoming difficulties? Was it the shadow chasing you? Was it the sage giving advice? When you notice an archetype, you realize that this dream is not only about your life, but also about something greater, about the deep forces of humanity. Step 5. Question to the dream. The fifth step, ask a question. What does this dream want to tell me? The subconscious rarely speaks directly, but if you ask this question and reflect, you will find the answer. Example of interpretation. Imagine a dream. You walk down a long corridor, doors closed, light ahead. Emotion, expectation and fear. Symbols, corridor, closed doors, light. Personal context. The corridor may be a symbol of searching, the light of hope. Archetype, the hero's journey. Message, you are at a stage of choice, and although fear interferes, ahead there is an opportunity for a new beginning. W question, would you like me to interpret your dreams directly in the next videos? Practice, a question before sleep. One of the strongest ways to work with dreams is to ask a question before sleep. For example, what do I need to understand about myself right now? What step should I take in life? The subconscious often answers symbolically, but these answers can be expectedly accurate. W question. Try asking a question before sleep today and write in the comments tomorrow, what did you dream? Dreams as a spiritual path. In different cultures, dreams were considered messages from the gods, news from spirits, or a doorway to other worlds. Modern psychology sees in them a path to the subconscious. In fact, it's the same thing. A dream is a bridge between the outer and inner world, between personality and soul. When we learn to listen to our dreams, we become closer to ourselves, wiser, and freer. Friends, we went on a whole journey together, from understanding that dreams are the language of the subconscious, through archetypes and symbols, to meeting the shadow, and to practical steps of interpretation and lucid dreaming. Now you have the tools to turn every dream into a key to self-knowledge. And now I have a request for you. Write in the comments your most vivid dream, and I will choose several to analyze in the next videos. Share this video with friends who are also interested in understanding themselves. And remember, every dream is a letter from your soul. The only question is, are you ready to read it? Thank you for being with me. See you in the next videos.